Welcome back to Ugly Truck. The whiteboard is out, the 70 is back in the shop, and today we're talking about torque converters, so stick around.
Okay, is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Like Emily said, we're going to wire up the lockup torque converter on this LS swap. Like everything great, it all started in the 80s. Lockup torque converters came about as a fuel mileage thing. And that's why it's kind of important to get them going in your LS swap, okay? You can not have them hooked up and drive around. You never ever really know. But if they are hooked up, they'll decrease transmission fluid temperature because you don't have any slippage. You'll increase your mileage, and it also decreases the wear and tear on that torque converter and possibly the clutches, I suppose. Maybe. I don't know. But it is a good thing to have, okay? We did this LS swap, and just like any other person, we are impatient, and we started driving it, and as time went on, every day we were like, hey, we should hook that up, and we just haven't yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we get great comments and great questions on the channel, and lately it's been, how do you hook up the torque converter clutch? Yeah. Okay? Which brings us to today. And it's very simple, so let's go to the whiteboard.
All right.
All right? And get started on it. Okay?
Yeah. It's quite a picture.
Oh, thank you.
Did you draw that yourself? Or?
Yep, I did. I got up this morning and started drawing it all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you
job.
for your comment. Mm-hmm. All right, so what are we working with? We are working with all the wiring in the engine out of a 2004 Tahoe. It was originally a 4.8, but we put a 5.3 in it. Same wiring. So it's got the 4.8 wiring in it, but a 5.3 motor.
Yeah.
4L60 transmission, 4L65, 70, 80s, all the torque converters kind of locked up the same way on these. Okay?
Yeah.
And what does a torque converter need to lock up? I'm not sure how fast you have to be going. I think it's above 45. And then it has to see power, 12 volts, okay, at the PCM, pin 33, okay, and that's power on all the time when you're driving down the road without your foot on the brake. And that's what it has to see, okay, in order to turn that torque converter clutch on. Okay. Okay? The problem is the majority of the switches on older vehicles, if you're talking pre-1990s, they're always open switches most of the time. Okay, there are some exceptions, but this truck only has a brake light switch on it, and it is always open. It has 12 volts going to it all the time. Doesn't matter if key on, key off, whatever. It's got 12 volts going to it. And when you hit your brake pedal, it'll close that switch, make a connection, and it goes to your brake lights, okay? Well, that's the opposite of what this thing needs. When we hit the brake pedal, we want to break that connection so there isn't voltage going to that.
And that's because your brake switch on a 2004 Tahoe is normally closed, right?
Part of it is.
Okay.
Part of it is. It has, in a 2004 Tahoe, it has one side of it that is normally closed and one side of it that's normally open. Okay. Okay, so there's two parts of its switch, and the reason for that is because of the cruise control, the redundance of those two checking themselves. Okay? So if one portion of it fails, both portions of that are going to fail. So the cruise control won't work. If we were working with a vehicle that we had already done cruise control on, the torque converter would already be locking up.
That's right. Okay.
Okay. So if you have cruise control and you're doing like a square body one, basically, if you want cruise control, you could go back, make cruise control work.
Yeah.
And then your torque converter is going to lock up properly.
Yeah, you kind of killed two birds with one stone.
Yeah. But the majority of LS swaps don't have cruise control. So you're going to be forced to do this in order to make it work okay.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
So, just like what we did in our cruise control thing, we're going to use a relay. Okay?
Okay.
And we're going to use a relay. We're going to steal power out of the underhood fuse box. We're going to get it from the brake, the stop lamp fuse. Okay, so that way I know kind of that makes sense to me. We'll be working with the stop lamp fuse.
Yeah.
But we're going to get power coming out of the underhood fuse box, and we're going to run power to pin 30 on the relay. And then pin 87A, which with this relay not energized, is going to be a connection. It'll be hot, so we're going to have power going from this purple wire, and it is going to go up to connector 1. C12 is the pin that we're going to go into, and then from there, it's just a connection. That it doesn't go through a fuse or anything. It's just a connection to this one. The computer has already got this done, or the wiring's already done, but in connector 2, which is the black connector, C12, purple wire that feeds power down to pin 33 on the PCM.
Yeah.
Okay? And so how are we going to get that thing to lose power? When we hit our brake and the brake lamp comes on, we're gonna tap into that power line, and we're gonna energize our relay at pin 85. Pin 86 is its ground. When that gets power going to it, it's going to supply power from pin 30 to pin 87, and it will lose its connection to 87A. Okay?
Okay.
So in turn, then you lose power going to the PCM, and the PCM knows that you have applied your brake pedal.
Yeah.
Okay? And that is all the computer needs to make the torque converter lock up.
Yeah.
Okay?
So you got to do all that to give power to one wire.
Yep.
Wiring's fun.
Yeah. It's fun. Okay, I'll just say this right now too while we're at the whiteboard. You can take this wire coming out of your underhood fuse box. It's hot and run and start. And you can run this one directly to C1, okay? And supply power to it all the time. And the torque converter will still lock up, okay? And it disengages also because the computer knows, because of your throttle control, that you're letting off your accelerator, and it also senses a load, because when you accelerate, you're putting a load on the motor. It knows that, so then it's going to unlock your torque converter because you have to have some slip as you accelerate. So you can do that way, but that's not the right way. You kind of want that computer to shut that torque converter off when you hit your brakes. So I always make sure I do it that way.
Yeah.
And that's the way it will perform properly.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of work to do that, but it still ends up working out a lot nicer that way.
Cool.
All right? Let's do it like we normally do. Let's get this relay going, because we can add the 2 wires to this relay, and then we can go to our box and pull the fuse box apart and add these 2 wires to connector 1. So that portion of it would be done. We can add a length of wire to our relay, so that one will go into the brake pedal switch. Okay? That one is done, okay? We don't have to mess with that at all. So we just have to do these 2 wires on a relay, plug them in, and get down to our brake switch and do a ground.
Cool.
All right? So this is a relay, 5-pin relay. There are 4-pin relays, okay, that don't have 87A. All right.
Cool.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before, but so you need a 5-pin relay. All right. Okay. So, all right. So let's do the 87, or no, let's do 30 first. Okay.
Okay.
I always like to put power first. So we got a red wire that comes out of pin 30 on this relay, and I'm even going to use the right colors that go into the fuse box. So that's going to be an orange wire. Okay.
Okay.
It's this one here. Okay, so everybody knows what's coming up next, right? I'm using a high quality solder butt connector.
He said butt. It's my favorite joke.
It's my favorite part, leading up to wiring.
I always get a good butt joke in.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to put a little heat shrink over it just to make it look nicer. Okay.
Cool.
Plus, it will hide more of that red wire, so you can pretend like the whole wire is orange.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't have told people that you don't have to do all this work. Huh?
I don't know.
So. Okay, all right, so that one's done. Pin 30 from the relay that's going to go to connector 1, F12. All right, that's that one. So
Cool.
Our next one, 87A here in the center, and it's a purple one. Going to go to the same connector, C12 in that connector. And I have a double purple one, so I'm just going to use that.
Oh, it's like a double rainbow.
Yep.
I wonder what that guy's up to.
I know. Reindeer guy.
He was a big deal.
Okay. Alright, so the connector. And I'm using these wires. These are pretty small.
Yeah.
They're carrying hardly any amperage to tell that computer that the brake light's on. So the small, these are little 24 gauge wires. But,
Yeah.
so you don't need giant wires for this. Okay.
Cool.
All right, so there's my power wire. There's my purple wire that's going to go to that connector. Like I said before, if I went and I just hooked these two up, the torque converter would apply.
Yeah.
Okay. It wouldn't disengage when you hit the brake, but it would apply. But like I said, I think it's just smart to.
Yeah. Yeah, the PCM's used to looking for that brake signal, so
Yep.
give it what it wants.
That's right. I mean, there's a reason. It does affect it.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference, or I can, or have been able to. I'm sure it's in some way or another it's safer,
Yeah.
but whatever. The car manufacturers, they don't do anything they don't have to. So
Yeah.
if they went through the trouble of doing it, think we can go through the trouble of doing it also.
Sure.
Okay? Maybe look a little nicer. Oh well. Alright, so those two wires are taken care of. The only wire that we have yet to do then would be the wire that goes down to the brake lamp switch and a ground. Okay?
Cool.
So let's do that one. We'll keep it white. Alright?
Okay.
Even though it's red in the color or in the picture, we'll make it white.
Well, I didn't have a white marker.
And actually the wire that it connects to at the switch is white. So on this truck.
Wow, it all matches.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's that white one that we did, pin 85. It's the one that's going to go up to the brake switch through the firewall. You have to do it at the firewall or at the brake switch because what comes out of your firewall would be the turn signal and brake lights. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So those are going to blink when you put your turn signals on, and so that doesn't work to do it outside the truck. So in this case, I have to run something in and tie it into the original brake pedal, which I hate doing, but that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the truck. Ripley.
You gotta move. You're gonna get run over.
You're gonna have to move a little.
Ripley.
You gotta move a little. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
You okay?
Oh. Abuse. Abuse.
Oh, okay. Favorite spot.
Yep.
I already disconnected the lug, okay? The positive lug that goes to that box. I need to disconnect the battery still. Never work on wiring without disconnecting your battery,
Yeah.
right? Otherwise sparks happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not good sparks either.
No, not the fun kind.
Right. Okay. So I already did a portion of my ground where it bolts to the radiator support. You've seen me do that probably 50 times if you watched our other videos.
Yeah.
So I just ran it down there ahead of time. So this ground wire is the one that's going to go to the ground on our relay, the black wire.
Cool.
Okay. So let's just wire that up. We'll do our fuse box connections, and then we'll do the brake light one last. Okay.
Okay.
You know why I always try to do the connections outside the truck, out here, and not under the dash?
Because it's a pain doing it under the dash.
Exactly. I hate it.
Yeah.
Hate laying underneath the dash.
I'd like to replace the
headlight switch in this thing, but it's in such a bad spot up in the corner there. And that's the same reason I've never...
It's easier just to take the whole dash head out.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, so that's it. The ground's done, all the wiring to the relay's done. So all we gotta do is make these two wires go to the connector number 1. What is it? C12.
Yep, purple goes to C12 and F12 for the orange one.
Okay, alright, so that's easy enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so undo your connector.
Hey, remember on the last video when you said hopefully this is the last time you take that connector out?
Yeah, I know.
Just kidding.
I'm used to looking at them upside down, so it's A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay?
Okay.
So F12, 12 is going to be that one, so it's going to be that cornered one right up there. All right? And it's the one that is going to supply power, right?
Okay.
The other one is C12. So I know that it's going to be out at this end, so it's A, B, C12. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so that's done.
That was easy.
It really is. When I wire them up, I should just make a point to just do that, you know? But I'm always in such a... It's always so much fun just to make them run.
Yeah.
You know, and then you won't worry about that stuff until later, once you've put a few 100,000 miles on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to wait a couple years and get everything else broken first.
Yeah. All right, so if there wasn't room in this box, I would have run this relay out somewhere and mounted it out here somewhere. But there's a ton of room in this box just to leave it sitting in the bottom there. Okay?
Okay.
And we can put that back together. Do our lug. Part of our reasoning for doing this video is because I still have to run the OBD connector through.
Yeah.
From the last video that we just did. So I'm going to end up just running this wire through with those. So it was just smart to get this wiring done so we could do that all at once, you know.
Do one loom going through the firewall.
Right. Yep.
Cool.
All right, so for now then, all we've got to do, I got to get down, I'm going to run this through the firewall where it's going to go, and we will hook this up to the brake switch. Okay?
Okay.
So. There's your speedometer cable. We haven't even taken the mechanical speedometer cable out of it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so right above the brake pedal on these older cars, you're gonna have your brake switch. On this one, the yellow one is hot all the time. I checked it just by applying the brake with the key off, and the brakes work. Cool. So I knew that, and then the yellow wire is the one that is feeding that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we are going to add our white wire that goes to our relay to this one. The other reason I don't like tying into this stuff is these old wires get brittle.
Yeah.
So I prefer just to work with new wires. Wires that are not, how old is this truck? 70?
52 years, I guess.
So it's 52 years old? Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Oh, I should have known that. Okay. I swear if you're a small person, it comes in handy.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised you didn't ask me to do this part.
I didn't want to hear you complain.
Oh, that's fair.
One other thing we haven't done on this truck is backup lights, you know?
Yes.
That would be nice. We'll do that one of these days, maybe. So, there we go. Got that done. Plug her back into my switch. Okay.
Okay.
The switch on this thing also needs adjusted,
Yeah.
you know? But we'll do that next year.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I do like your cylinder head collection.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah? Yeah? How long have you been collecting cylinder heads?
Oh, quite some time now, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, those are actually the 6-liter cylinder heads, and we almost have the parts back for that thing.
Yeah.
Everything turned out okay on that 6-liter. Ended up getting bored 20 over.
Yeah.
The
We were worried it wasn't even going to be savable, so that's awesome news.
Yep, the crank was even good.
Yeah.
The crank got polished.
So if you want to check out that video, I'll put a link in the description for you.
One of these days we'll be doing that one. Putting that
Yeah.
thing back together. Okay? Okay. Never fails. The one thing I always forget to do when I reach the end of doing this stuff is putting that fuse back in.
Yes.
So in this box, and they're going to be different, for the 2004 Tahoe, I think it's this pin right here that goes to the stop lamp fuse is what it's called. Okay?
Okay.
So it could handle, it was made for a 25 amp slot, but it doesn't need to be 25 amp, so I'm just going to put a 10 amp fuse in it.
Okay.
You might have seen our ALDL video. If you haven't, make sure you go back and watch it over and over again.
Yeah.
So here's our ALDL connector with our check engine light. I'm going to go turn the truck on.
Okay.
Alright, so this time we're not going to look at the engine, we're going to look at the transmission on this. Okay, we are going to look at live data and scroll down to the torque converter. Alright, so here we go. Torque converter brake switch.
Okay.
It is closed. Okay?
Okay.
Alright, so also let's look at torque converter enabled. No. Alright?
Okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna hit the brake, okay?
All right.
And what does it do?
Open.
Alright. Now,
Closed.
okay.
Open. Closed.
Alright. Okay, so that is absolutely all you want to see with your foot off the brake. You want to see a closed connection on the torque converter brake switch. You want to see it open when you hit the brake. Oh, I shut the key off.
Oh no.
All right. It says torque converter enable, no, but as long as that, okay, there. All right, so as long as that's closed, and when we get up to 45 or so, it's in fourth gear, and it says that it's okay to lock up that torque converter, it'll switch over to yes. Okay,
Sweet.
And you can actually feel it.
Engage.
Drop in.
Yeah.
And you can also, well, on this scan tool you can watch your torque converter efficiency, okay?
Oh, okay.
So when you're driving down the road and you don't have that torque converter locked up, it might be like 75, 80%, somewhere in there,
Yeah.
how efficient it is. But as soon as it clicks over to yes, it will read about 100% efficiency.
Huh.
99, and,
Yeah.
but so at that point it will work, and it will work properly. Okay.
Yay.
But that's what you're looking for, is that closed position all the time, open when you hit the brake.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's why we say relays are friends.
Relays are friends.
We love relays.
Yes. Okay, so we hope that helps you out a little bit if you're trying to get your torque converter to lock up. Like I've mentioned, very important to double check all the wiring and the pins for what you are working on, okay?
Yep.
Because we get a lot of questions about different vehicles, but it's real hard to say because you need to know what both of them are. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So you'll need to know what your engine, what your harness, all that good stuff is for exactly what you're doing, because there are little differences. So.
a lot of little differences.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got a bunch of LS swaps coming in.
Yep.
6 liters and 4L80s, different stuff. So if you have things that you're interested in that we don't cover,
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. We really appreciate everybody who's taken the time to leave us comments and to send in questions. That's exactly why we're doing this video today, is because you guys have asked about it. How do we make the torque converter lock up? Here you go, this is it. So I hope it helps you out. We really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and stick around for all the cool stuff we got coming up, and we will catch you next time.
That's right.
Bam.